Mr. Lalshiadranga, see, end of the day, you'll have to incorporate these addresses
Yes.
to the main writ petition.
Yes.
It cannot remain as a separately in the additional affidavit.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that the cause title will have to be amended.
Right.
If this court finds some substance in the projection made by the petitioner.
Yes.
So that is the thing. Now, let us see what is the cause that you have projected in your.
The cause we have projected here is that regarding this tender floated on 31st January 2024 by the police department, in the para 6 of the tender number 1, the terms in which it is written very clearly that para 6, the later part of the sentence, any tenderers who quote the rate beyond 5% below or 10% above SOR, that is sale of rates, 219 for Mizoram PWD building, should attach detailed analysis of rates to justify the rates without which the tender will be treated as invalid. Now, even after this, there were few tenderers who quoted less than SOR, but treated as valid and responsive tenders. So they were not considered again for selection of the contractors. And in fact, in the process, this selection board have selected only the rates. I mean, only those tenderers who have quoted the SIDLOB rates, as per the SIDLOB rates only. So in the process, the department, the government of Mizoram is losing a huge amount of money, something in the to the tune of 120 lakh rupees. And moreover, this contract were to be allotted strictly as per the terms and conditions of the tender only.
See, what you just read is
Yeah.
that 5% below
Yeah.
or 10% above.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the schedule of rate. It can
Yes.
go 5% below or
Yes.
10% up. So whoever quotes in between can be considered as a valid tenderer, and ultimately the respondents reserve the right to choose
Exactly. Now,
the tenderer.
so that I will try to explain. If a person quoted below 5%, let's not talk about the higher side. Below 5%, then he has to give full justification. Then only he will be considered as valid and responsive tenders. In our case, there are some tenders who quoted even less. They have 4.99 below 5 also, but they were treated as valid and responsive tenders. And in the process, they have said they have not been considered again for selection for the work.
Okay, but so where is the guarantee that just because you quoted 4.9, 4.8% below the schedule of rate, you should be given the priority? See, they reserve the right not to choose the lowest tenderer.
Yes.
You know very well in a tender proceeding, the authority reserves the right not to choose the lowest tenderer. After the analysis, they find that if we choose the lowest tenderer, lowest quoted rate, the work might suffer. Or if we go for very high one, we might lose a lot of money on that. Then they strike a balance and choose the tenderer, which
lord-
according to is the appropriate.
My lord, that is quite true. In fact, that is the reason they have rejected. Now, my point is that once they've been considered as valid and responsive tenders, they have thought after full examination, they have considered these persons who have quoted less than 5% are valid and responsive.
See, Mr. Lalshiadranga,
Yes.
supposing we accept your contention,
Yes.
now it is not the unsuccessful tenderers who are before this court. There is another person who claims to be a public spirited individual who has filed a PIL. Had it been those tenderers who had quoted very low rates, which is permissible and workable, but were not selected, they could have come individually.
But they have not come, sir.
That is why.
That is the
So,
problem.
what would be the interest of this person to file this PIL?
We have no interest.
And why should we examine this aspect?
We have no personal interest neither. We are not inclined to anybody. We don't know them even. In
That
fact,
is the prerequisite of filing a PIL. We know that.
Yeah.
You cannot have your personal interest.
Yeah.
You claim to be a public spirited individual,
Yes.
and you are exposing the cause, saying that the government is losing a lot of money
Yes.
because they've chosen these persons.
Yes.
Now, it is not those persons who have not been selected who have come to this court saying that, see, we are lower than these persons. They've quoted very high rates or they quoted as per the SOR. Our rates are like this. It's within the permissible limit. Why have they not accepted our rates? If those persons have come, it would have been a different case.
My lord, the fact here is that the selection board has examined everybody, all the tenders who have submitted the quotations. Now, after going through all this, say out of 100 something, they have come down to something like 30 or 40. So, the tenderers who is considered to be valid and responsive, they must be given some enough reasons to reject them again. Because, see, in this case, what happened is that if the person is quoting less than 5% also, that means he's ready to work for that. And there is a provision in the contract system that they can ask for a bank guarantee, which is called performance guarantee. They have not done that. So there is deliberate attempt to select. And in fact, my lord, you will see that in each item of work, the serial number 1 is the selected person. And it is everything is as per the schedule of rights. So we felt that these people who have not been selected have no guts, or say have for reasons best known to them, they have not been able to come up. So we thought we will.
You tell them to come to the court.
But
why should you come?
No, but we come because it also affects our interest. This is our government.
No, see,
As a member of the, as a domicile of the state, I think we have every
give
right.
us the High Court rules.
Yeah.
Just mention.
You want to ask me?
See, those persons who were not selected,
Yeah.
they have not come before the court aggrieved, because maybe they find that
My
there
chamber
are
also.
some reasons why they are not selected, and so they have no grievance as to why they are not selected. So have you spoken to those
We have-
persons who were not selected? What is the, if they have no grievance, then what is your case?
Your lord.
Maybe they find that the person who is finally selected is actually reasonable, and that's why they have not come before this court to voice their grievance.
Madam, there is no reasonableness in the selection process. The valid and responsive tenders who have not been selected, even after quoting look below the rates.
But the persons
They-
who
they have not-
but the persons who have not been selected are not
No,
agreed.
they agree. They agree.
Then
but,
let them come to
no,
the
but they
court.
don't have energy. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources to come to you. So we, on the on behalf of the people of Mizoram, on behalf of those aggrieved persons, we are coming by our own. That is, I think, to be considered as a very good case of PL.
See, certain peoples were
Yeah,
not,
you
people were
cannot
not
possibly
selected.
force anybody that you should go to the High Court. Coming to the High Court is a very expensive business.
Court Master, please come. Mr. Larshi Ringa, just read clause 8, subclause Roman 4.
8.4. This is for guidelines for screening letter petitions. Letter petitions rising or alluding to matters of public interest shall be entertained as letter petitions, and unless directed by the public interest litigation committee, letter petition under the following categories shall not be well, I understand. But in this case, do we have this public interest litigation committee here? So that we can oppose.
What is that Roman 4? Just read that.
Roman 4 is this was relating to contractual or statutory liabilities.
Okay. So, understanding the spirit of that clause.
Yes, my
This
lord.
is not a letters pattern, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's a PIL
Yes.
by inform the filer in the writ petition.
Yeah.
But the same spirit will apply.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
See, you cannot file PIL in service matters. You cannot file PIL in matrimonial matters,
Mm-hmm.
individual disputes, and in contractual disputes. Now, this is also a contract. You are saying that the exchequer of the state is suffering because they have selected people who have quoted as per the SOR. There's nothing illegal about that.
There's nothing illegal.
If they had selected person who was more than 10% higher than the SOR, then it would have been questioned. But questioned by the person who is affected, the other tenderers who have quoted reasonable rates in terms of the tender notice, were not selected, but those person who were selected were much higher than 10% or much lower than 5%. In that case, they will have a cause of action. You are trying to espouse the cause of the public saying that by
Yeah.
selecting people as per the SOR, money has been lost by the state.
And also,
Can that be a PIL?
my lord,
We have our doubts, that's why.
it's
I'm
not
putting
about
it
the
plainly to you.
My lord, it's not about the money alone. Why we have involved ourselves in the form of PL is that these people who are not selected, in spite of the fact that they are valid and responsive tenders, they will not come to this thing. We have talked to them even.
They are
my-
contractors,
They're
they're not just
contractors.
nobody. They are all contractors.
Suppose
They don't have the finances to come to the court to file a simple writ petition. I don't think so.
My lord,
When
let-
they can answer the contract, which is worth 88 lakhs, 98 lakhs, maybe 1 crore also.
my
How is
lord,
it possible that they can not file a writ petition in the High Court?
my lord, for the benefit of myself and for the rest of the people concerned, you mean to say that once it is selected, as per seal of rates, and if people don't come, the people who have not been selected, who have quoted less, considered valid and responsive, if they don't come up, so the government will keep on doing such things.
It's not, is it illegal to select people as per the SOR?
No, but the reasons they have rejected, quoted in this our petition, the reasons is that it is too low. But when the gentleman said even say for 100 rupees, you're asking me 100 rupees. I can afford to give it for 90 rupees because I have my own setup, I have my own quarries,
Okay.
I have my own machineries. So he can do a justifiable job. He can complete the work.
We understand your concern,
Satisfactory.
but it does not make out a case for intervention in this court by way of a PIL. If somebody had come who was not selected, despite quoting very reasonable rate, well, accepting the rate quoted by somebody which was unreasonable, then we'll examine it on that aspect, but not in the form of a PIL. We are sorry.
Sure, right, sir.
Okay, please write down.
I think Ms. Caroline has something to say.
Yes, Miss Caroline, do you have anything to say? Yes, we are waiting.
Yes, my lord. At para 13, page number 27 of your petition, my learned friend had pointed out that the total loss to the
Can you
state.
speak on the microphone, please?
Yes, my lord. Para 13, page 24, my lord.
Well, para 13 is page 24. No?
Page 27, my lord.
Okay.
My learned friend had pointed out that the total loss to the state exchequer on account of mismanagement is around 110 lakhs approximately. But, my lord, I have received prior instructions from the department, and instead of losing the set amount in these 26 various works, the government is receiving approximately 379.40 lakhs through GST and labor cess.
Okay, anyway, Miss Caroline, you must
And my-
you must try to understand the mind of the court. You submit when it's required to submit. When it's not required at all to submit, why do you submit?
My lord.
Please understand. I hope you are understanding the mind of the court.
Yes, my lord.
Then,
My lord, one more point, please. Okay, under the circumstances, if one of these,
you want to withdraw or we'll dismiss it. It's up to you.
you go anyway in that case because it stops here only.
Okay.
My lord, my whole submission here once again is that suppose if one of the aggrieved persons come to this court,
It's up to him to come. Nobody, door is not closed to anybody.
fine.
All right. Heard Mr. Lalsia Sangte, Learned Counsel for the petitioners. Petitioner, who submits that in terms of the court's order dated 18/9/2024, the petitioner has filed an additional affidavit incorporating the detailed addresses of the private respondents. Full stop. The Learned Counsel submits that the petitioner has come before this court to espouse the illegalities committed by the state respondent authorities in selecting the private respondents for the works mentioned in the notice inviting tender number 1 SASCI SASCI /DGP/2023 -2024 dated 31/1/2024, bracket annexure 1. Stop. He submits that the petitioner has no personal interest in filing the instant PIL and that he has filed his writ petition in view of the fact that the state respondents have ignored the tenders, the quotation made by the prospective tenderers, which were below the SOR, but within the range of the workable rates. Stop. The respondent authorities, on the other hand, without considering the bids of the tenderers who had quoted below the SOR, have settled the tender in respect of the tender to the private respondents who have quoted their rates exactly as per the SOR. Stop. By accepting the rates of the private respondents, the state government has incurred a loss from the public exchequer, which amounts to more than 120 lakhs. Stop. Since the interest of the public has suffered, the petitioner has filed the instant PIL. Stop. Next para. Upon perusing the notice inviting tender dated 31/1/2024, we find that as per the terms and conditions under clause 6, it is provided that any tenderers who quote rates beyond 5% below or 10% above SOR 2019 for Mizoram PWD building should attach detailed analysis of rates to justify their rates, without which the tender will be treated as invalid. Stop. The same would go to show that variance up to 5% below and 10% above the SOR is permissible. Stop. The petitioner has contended that the selected tenderers have quoted rates as per the SOR. Stop. Since the same is as per the terms and conditions of the NIT, we see no reason to entertain this PIL, more particularly when the Guwahati High Court PIL rules 2000 11 under clause 8 bracket small Roman 4 provides that disputes relating to contractual or statutory liabilities will not be construed as PIL. Which is filed in the form of letters patent. To stop, we are of the considered view that same spirit will apply even if a writ petition is filed. Stop. It would be a different case altogether if the, are you writing? Altogether, if the persons who had not been selected had approached this court with a grievance that their rates were as per the tender notice and also workable and practicable, but the rates which were excessively high were selected instead. Full stop. However, the same is not the case. Full stop. In view of above, we are not inclined to entertain the PIL, and accordingly the same stands dismissed.
Yes.
All right.
Please.
For orders, item number 8.